I don't understand how some people like rage at games all day and then they're like, oh my god, I can't wait to do this again tomorrow.
Sure, cranberries. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? There's nothing quite like a person chasing you down in 3D space, and that's terrifying. I think we're going to agree on this.
100%.
This is going to be a controversial one. Hi, I'm Kareem. I'm a gameplay engineer at Sharkmob. That means I kind of am the middle ground between what design says and what you see in the game.
Hi, I'm Anna. I'm a junior technical artist here at Sharkmob. I mostly work with the environment art team here, which means I'm responsible for stuff like weather in the game and all the cool materials that you see.
Do you want to do the first one?
You do it.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oh, console versus PC. Oh no.
Steamy.
I'm gonna dangerously pick console, even though I'm generally a bit of a PC gamer mostly. I don't know, I think the new consoles are really good, and they've got a bunch of awesome hardware in there, and you just kind of plug them in and get going.
Yeah, I'd say for me, it's gotta be computer. It's gotta be PC, because not only like is it super versatile, I just switch out stuff, parts, whatever. I love building computers to begin with, so I'm highly biased in that sense.
Until the game takes your 2,000-pound PC down to 30 FPS, and then...
And then you're humbled. Yeah.
Also, you can't beat adaptive triggers on the PlayStation 5.
Okay, that's fair. All right, let's do the next one. Single player versus multiplayer. It's gotta be single player for me. I enjoy the ride. I enjoy taking my time. I enjoy just like chilling with a game for however long I want, not being bothered by anyone else, not having to interact with anyone else. Call me antisocial, that's fine. I say single player.
I generally would kind of agree. I think single player games give you a lot more immersion, and the escapism factor is always wonderful. That being said, I probably have put more hours into multiplayer games than I have in every single player game I've ever played combined. And, you know, there's a social aspect to multiplayer games that you obviously don't get with single player games.
That is exactly what I'm avoiding. No, I'm just kidding.
This is going to be a controversial one. It's story versus open world. I'm going to say story. You can have the most expansive, most detailed open world ever, but if the story sucks, I'm not going to spend any time in it.
I'm one of those people that it took me about like 5 years since the last game I truly enjoyed, and it was a very story-driven game. It didn't have an open world, but it was the story that I was there for. Like the open world aspect of many games, I tend to not even care about, to the point where like I'll just stick to the main quests and just do those, and then eventually maybe I'll go back and do like the you know, that NPC on the side of the road that's like, hey, could you go grab like cranberries for me? And you're like, I'm literally trying to like save my mum from dying or something.
You're like, sure, cranberries, why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Glad we agree on that one, actually. Let's do the next one. Competitive versus casual. I think I basically already touched on this one. I was like, oh, I'm all about the casual stuff. I'm all about taking my time and stuff. I do enjoy competitive, but it needs to be in like very, you know, normal, tiny little doses every now and then. I feel like I don't understand how some people like rage at games all day and then they're like, oh my god, I can't wait to do this again tomorrow.
You just described me from the ages of 14 to like 18.
It's okay, I get it.
Have you got anything to say on people who make casual games competitive with speedrun?
Ooh. I think speedrunning is awesome.
I think it's fun.
I think it's cool as someone who be like, ooh, I'm playing Mirror's Edge competitively, doing the time trials.
Yeah.
And then I watched someone, the world record holder for that time trial, and I was like, oh, you just broke the game. That's amazing. That's genius. How did I not think of that?
I think speedrunning is definitely really fun. You kind of see like devs sort of try to sort of work around it in a sense. You see like these little workarounds, or like there's a collision block there that is clearly there for a reason to like sort of stop a specific glitch from happening, you know? Oh.
Virtual reality versus traditional or flat screen games. I've had the luxury of having access to a Vive for a while. There's nothing quite like a person chasing you down in 3D space, and that's terrifying. And
if you're after that adrenaline, I would say
Godspeed to anyone trying to make a game for VR. Power to you. Good luck.
90 FPS, yeah.
I wish you the best.
Constant 90 FPS. Oh yeah, that is a challenge indeed, for sure. I will confess, I have never even put on a virtual reality headset. It's just because I know myself. The second I put that thing on, I'm gonna get nauseous. I'm gonna faint and just pass out and die. That's it. Can't stress this out enough. I'm very casual in my gaming. Cool. Next up, we have handheld versus arcade.
Ooh.
No mobile gaming for me. Definitely no mobile game. It's just I've never liked it. I don't know why. It's just something. However, the Switch is different because it has like tactileness to it. Because there's buttons, there's something to press. Same with the Steam Deck, right? It's heavy. It's in your hand. It's like a whole console. So I will go with handheld. I believe it's nice to just sit on a train and play your Switch.
I'm gonna break the mold, and even though I have a Switch and a Steam Deck and play games on my phone occasionally.
Oh wow.
I love arcade games. I love old school arcade games. I love picking up a light gun and shooting things on a screen. I think that's really cool and it's satisfying.
Okay, that's a fair point.
Retro versus modern. I grew up on immersive sims, so I'm gonna say retro. Things like System Shock and Thief, those are the things I cut my teeth on as a player. I think in development now we tend to want to hit these really high production marks.
Yeah.
And that's great, and you get some really beautiful stuff out of it, but there's nothing quite like breaking a game in a way no one planned because there were 10 people working on it in someone's basement.
Yeah, I agree with you that retro games have that charm. They have that je ne sais quoi, you know, they do something for you. However, I will go with modern. And this is simply because I, as a game developer, I'm always looking, and especially as a technical artist, I'm always hunting for the newest technology, the newest, coolest, greatest looking stuff. I'm that person who plays a game and they're like, oh, I wonder how they did like the chin stroker, you know?
Which is funny because I think I like retro games because they have lots of interesting approaches to systemic game design and gameplay, which for me is like, oh, cool, taking the work out by making a system, amazing.
I think what's cool about retro games is that they had barely anything to work with there. Like they had to make everything work on like really, really old, crappy hardware. 2D versus 3D.
I think we're going to agree on this.
100% 3D, right?
Yeah, it's gotta be.
It's gotta be 3D.
I think 2D games have a certain charm. You get that. It's that whole like limitation breeds creativity. And when I'm working on my own stuff, I kind of at the moment am refusing to touch 3D because that's a lot of work you got to do. I can't animate anything. I can just about draw pixel art. So I stick to 2D.
Good for you still, yeah.
Yeah, right? It's not good pixel art, but it exists. But in terms of playing and developing with a team, 3D all the way.
3D. I'm glad we agree on that one. I would have, you know, brought out the swords. Games for me kind of take the back seat. After work, I try to not touch my computer much.
I'm happy you mentioned dev goggles earlier because I really suffer from this now, where I literally have a notebook that sits in my room that like, oh, I'm playing a new game. I'm gonna start thinking and being like, ooh, this is how they do it. And I will pause it and my housemate gets so annoyed with me when I do that.
I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you click on some of the boxes here to check out some more of our content. Make sure you subscribe to Level Infinite and turn notifications on. That way you won't miss one of our uploads. And make sure to follow us on our socials, linked in the description. Also, please make sure you check out Sharkmob, who are featured in this video. You can find some of their links in the description as well.